Hello, this is my chord progression series, building on my chord tutorial series before, and instead of looking at one chord, we're going to look at a pattern of chords, a progression from a song, and learn how to do those and how to transition from one chord to the next. And in so doing, have a good look at that song as well and let you enjoy learning that one afterwards. So we're going to look at Hound Dog today, a bit of classic Elvis, and we're going to look at the progression of E7 to the D7 and to the A chord. It's a really nice progression. We'll look at how that fits into the song in a second. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please do like and subscribe. It really does help, and feel free to check out the other songs on my channel. Okay, here we go. Here's Hound Dog. So we're going to focus on the chords of E7, D7 and A. Let me just give you a quick opening verse from the song so you can see how those three chords fit together. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. So it's those final three chords there, the E7 to D7 and to the A. And once you've mastered those three chords, you can pretty much play this song. So let's just have a look at how those fit together. Right, I'm going to start on the E7, which is a 3-finger chord across the first 2 frets. So our first finger is on the first fret there on the G string, and our second and third finger are on the second fret on the C and the A strings. So make sure that's a nice tight grip. And we've got our E7. We're going to go from there to the D7, and that's quite an interesting transition. You've got to really think about what you're doing, but actually once you get the hang of it, it's a really easy one. So E7 to D7 is a nice smooth movement, but you've got to sort of pivot in the right place. So the key to that is your second finger. Second finger is already on the second fret on the C string there. Now you're going to want to turn that into a full bar on the second fret across all 4 strings. Although we're not going to use the bottom string on the second fret because we're using our third finger on the third fret on the A string to get that top C on the chord as well. So we basically that's the D7, which is the second finger on the second fret across all the strings, and then our third finger tucked away at the bottom on the third fret on the A string there as well. So like I say, when we go from the E7 to the D7, it's that second finger that's going to pivot. Now the second finger is already in the right place to do this. All it needs to do is go from being quite sort of sideways, a sideways chord, to straight up, and then literally just sliding it up so that it covers the top G string as well. Otherwise you'll end up with the semi-bar and not have the full chord effect. So from there to there, just pivot and slide, and then we add our we take our first finger off and add our third finger at the bottom on the third fret. So E7 to D7. And you just got to make sure it's a nice tight bar across the whole second fret. So it's really about the second finger. You've got to have a lot of strength in that second finger to get that transition and nice full bar, nice and accurate sound as well. So E7 to the D7. Okay, and then we go to the A, and the A is also a nice transition from the D7 because our second finger is already in the right place. Again, if you have a look at the A chord, our second finger wants to be on the second fret on the G string. So all we need to do is reverse the bar effectively, and instead of having the finger flat across all 4 strings, just lift it up and pinpoint that G string on the second fret, and then add your first finger on the first fret on the C string. So we go from the D7 to the A by just lifting our finger up again and adding our first finger alongside it. D7 to the A. So it's a nice simple transition there that one you possibly haven't done much of. It's an unusual chord combination. It's a great chord combination in this song, but it's not one that comes up in a lot of songs, but it really works nicely. Let's just practice that slowly then. So E7 to D7 to A. Let's do that again. E7, D7 to A. And again, E7, D7 and A. Okay, so practice that in your own time. Make sure you really get the hang of that, and then you can have a look at the song. I'm going to go straight into the song so you can see what it's all about. Just play a little bit first of all. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. That's on the A. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, D7, crying all the time. Back to the A, and here we go. Well, you ain't E7, never caught a rabbit, and you D7 ain't no friend of A mine. So as you can see, that pretty much those three songs cover, those three chords cover most of the song. So do have a look at the whole song. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like and subscribe. It does help a lot. And thanks for watching. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. Well, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. They said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. Well, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog.